Oh snap. Why did I sell my preschool?
Why did you sell?
Joy, why did you sell your preschool? Are you crazy? That's a good one. Did you sell your preschool? Are you crazy? There's actually a lot of reasons. I'll go into a couple of them today, but I have a question for you first. Post in the comments below. If you sold your preschool, what would you do with the money? And what would you do with your time? Because there are two very important things to selling your preschool. And sure, it had to do with money, but it most importantly had to do with time. Sometimes when people think about selling their preschool, they just think, oh, the number, the payday, right? Like the woo, going to the bank and the big cash out, right? That's actually not why I sold. Sure, it was a benefit. That was really awesome. However, I actually sold to get my time back. If you think about my preschool experience, I started as a little small home preschool with 24 students the very first school year. And I still remember halfway through that school year, things were going great. And my husband and I were both entrepreneurs. And so late one night we were up talking in bed. And he asked me this question. He said, Joy, how can you make your preschool more profitable? And I literally looked at him and I said, what do you mean, more profitable? I'm full. We're charging the amount that I chose. There's nothing I can do to make it more profitable. I can't put more students in it. You can't do that mid-year. I can't raise the tuition. You can't do that mid-year. And he's like, okay, I get that you can't change it this year, but what can you do to make it more profitable next year? And I was like, well, I thought I'm just gonna keep doing this every single year. I'll just be the owner, the director, the teacher. I will have 6 students in every class, so 24 students total, and I will charge the same amount forever. And I will be happy forever. And I might have kept that model and I might have been happy forever. Who knows? I didn't choose that model, so I don't know. But I was loving what I was doing. It was only 5 hours a day. It was very minimal. We only had 24 students. It wasn't a huge school. And although I was still putting a lot of time and effort into figuring stuff out, I kind of eventually, figured things out pretty well that we were on a good roll. And so him asking this question was whoa, coming out of left field. No, we were finally good. I finally understand things. It's 6 months in, right? But what he was doing was he's trying to say this is a business, right? And so if it can produce more income, why not, right? And so we started to think back and forth, well, what could we do? Well, we could raise tuition, we could raise the class sizes, we could hire teachers, so we could, we'd have to get more space, but we could hire teachers. If you hire teachers, you could get your time back, Joy, so that you're not teaching. You could get a bigger location, so you could have more students. You could create an amazing staple in your community. And this literal dream session, it was pretty crazy, but it was awesome. It was so awesome. Hey, real quick, I know you're excited to start your preschool, but if my gut is correct, you're probably a little bit scared, right? I mean, will you be able to make this work? Will you be able to create the income your family needs? How is this going to work out? Will it end up like all of the other ventures that you've tried? It's not your fault. You just didn't have the right support in the past, but that's why I'm here, and that's why I'm here to invite you to join our Preschool All-Stars membership. It's an exclusive membership community filled with me and hundreds of our preschool owners, all on the exact same journey as you, starting, running, and growing your preschool. Like-minded women who are there to answer your questions, give you some cheerleading, and support you on your path. Now, guess what? We have a little motto inside of All-Stars, and it's this: I don't get stuck, I get help, because I'm a preschool all-star. You'll also get access to our huge library of step-by-step video trainings, systems, and done-for-you files. Literally everything you need to get your preschool on the right track and making a consistent income for your family. It's all available to you because you'll be a Preschool All-Star member. I can't wait for you to join our family. Click the link in the description or go to preschoolallstars.com, and I can't wait for you to join us. Now let's go, come on. So we went through this whole process of brainstorming and dreaming. And in the end, you know the story. We basically grew from 24 students, and every year we just kept growing. Finally, we had 48, and then one year we doubled. We went to 96, and at that point, we got a second location, which is our schoolhouse. And after 96, we went up to 100, 120, and all the way up to 150 students, where we had a private kindergarten and an all-day preschool and advanced pre-K and all these different fun classes. What an amazing experience it was for us. But at the same time, as we grew, yes, I hired teachers, but guess what I didn't hire? I didn't hire a director. And that's probably what I should have done. I did try to hire a director, but I'm a bit of a perfectionist. I'm a bit of a, like, wanting to have everything done my way and not letting things go, right? Like, they have to be done my way, or, or go the highway. I don't know what that phrase is. But anyways, I did try to hire one, and I didn't let her do much of anything. Like, I actually do remember one time we were trying to do class pictures, right? And I've got my camera, and I've done class pictures for years, and I knew exactly how to get the preschoolers to elicit those smiles, and at just the right time to snap the picture, and how to get them to loosen up, and how to set them up in their perfect formation. And I developed all these tricks because I'd done them for so many years, right? So I actually remember, of course, I trained her beforehand how to do it, but then I gave her the camera, and I'm like, okay, so when you're in there, like, you need to say monkey, and like, did you call me monkey? And then everybody's laughing, and then click. Do you see what happens there? Like, I learned that from the Life Touch Preschool Portrait Pros. But I literally was like telling her exactly how to act like me. Truth is, she wasn't me, and she shouldn't have to act like me, right? And so this is just one example of me saying, oh, you know what? She didn't get the perfect picture. I could have done it better. And if she can't even do that, well, then I probably shouldn't give her all the really important stuff. And that was my own fault because, I was definitely a perfectionist and not willing to give her the ability to kind of like have her own spin on it. Guess what? Maybe she could have done it in a different way and done it even better. Yeah. But yeah, I have some faults too, guys. I definitely have some faults. And, it was this baby that I'd grown so big. And so it was about the year, I think 8 years into our preschools when I started thinking, you know what? I definitely need to get my time back because I've been doing so many things as we grew the preschool that I needed to hire a director. So I did try to hire a director in year 8. Like I said, didn't work out. And eventually just kind of fizzled out. But in the process of that, we knew that our end goal would be to sell. But we had no clue if we actually could sell. That's the difference. Like, you see all the other businesses, the franchises, or even just the mom and pop stores. Oh, under new management, right? Like, oh, they sold, okay? Like, you see that time and time again. You see something that's like a dilapidated, and then someone comes in and buys it and makes it nice. Or it's really nice and someone else buys it and it kind of like fizzles because they weren't the original owners and they didn't have the passion for it. Yeah, and you see those comments on Facebook about like, oh my gosh, yeah, well, I hope they fix XYZ, as soon as they see those posts coming up that, I hate those. But the point is as we were hiring the director, it didn't really work out, but we had our eye on selling because wouldn't that be nice if we could, right? I actually read a really cool book, and it's called Selling Your Business for Dummies. It's actually right over there in my bookshelf. Selling Your Business for Dummies. And it was like, I had gotten a whole bunch of books, but that was my most valuable book for sure. And I realized real fast, whoa, you can't even think about selling. It's not even in the right state. Your expenses are too high, your income is too low, your property needs to be, finessed and everything needs to be like looking good, and there's definitely some things you need to do, Joy, to fix it. And I realized, like, I don't have to own the property. That was like the biggest thing because we didn't own our property, our schoolhouse. We leased, okay? So there was a landlord. And for some of you, that might be like a huge, like amazing awareness. Like, whoa, I thought Joy owned the property. No, we just leased it. Which if you can lease, that's awesome because guess what? You can still sell. All you have to do is just get someone else's name on the lease. Boom, you're golden, okay? And of course, whose name's gonna be on the lease? It's the new owner, right? But, so as we were going through this process, it definitely came down to my time. Great, payday, cool, that's awesome, but really, my time is way more valuable to me than any amount of money. And as I was putting so many hours into the preschool, as I was growing it into this amazing premier preschool, it was a lot of hours, and I never hired anybody to help me with it.
So we did.
I just hired the process of trying to maximize it, really, because in order to sell it, you need to sell it at the peak, right? It's kind of like a stock. You want to sell it when it's high. And so we had to take a couple years to decrease expenses, to increase income, and to really just maximize the furniture, the materials, the curriculum, the property, just making it look as nice as we possibly could. And finally, at that point, when we felt like it was as good as we could possibly get it to, it was actually at about $300,000 in net gross revenue every year is how far we scaled it to. And at that point we said, that's as good as we can get it, and it's ready to sell. And thankfully, I had a wonderful person that I knew. That's in a whole other video. I'll tell you that story another time. But yeah, we had a wonderful person that we knew who was super excited to buy our preschool. So why did I sell my preschool? It was to get back my time. So if you are wanting to be able to sell your preschool, I have an entire system called the Preschool Payday System, which will help you literally sell your preschool. It walks you through every single lawyer, document, business, bank account, like business plan, every single paper that you could ever need to be able to sell your preschool. And just make sure that your preschool is solid, not only before you sell it, during the sale, and especially after the sale, okay? Because that's what banks want as well. All right, hope that was super helpful. Subscribe, share, and like, and make sure you hit the notifications so that I can be able to have these videos pop up in your feed more often.